Welcome, welcome everyone to the 75th edition of the Home Theater Hub. I love every time we go on. He sits up nice and proper and
I
smiles
know,
at the
right?
camera.
I'm over here like
Ike just sits up nice and proper and smiles into the camera like he's George Washington over there.
Oh man,
What's going on, guys?
yeah.
just doing my best to sit up proper. It's not easy.
No, I understood. I definitely feel like being horizontal myself right now, going to sleep. So I'm extremely tired today. So and Paul's got me beat. He was just telling some stories in the background that he's been up quite some time too.
In the green room, not in the background.
In the green room.
That sounds weird.
That is true.
In the background.
That is true.
Everyone knows what the green room is. But I took a nap. I'm raring to go. So today we're going to pop the top
age
here.
6 years. Nice. Oh yeah. Let the air flow in. There you go. What is that? A bourbon?
No, this is a technically not.
I couldn't see the camera wasn't. Oh, it's a single malt. Okay.
Oh, Golly Town.
There we go. Kansas City brewed, Brett, baby.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's what we're doing today.
That's what we're doing today. And yes, today we do have a guest, and we're going to bring him up now. Mr. Rick, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. It's our pleasure. Rick and I kind of met through Facebook over the past week or so. So
cheers.
Cheers, guys. Cheers. So Rick and I kind of met through Facebook the past week or so. I happened to see a picture of his theater and said, man, we need to get him on the show. So really appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely. You reaching out really caught me by surprise. So I'm just glad to be here.
Look, man, we put our pants on like everybody else. We're no more special than anybody. I can promise you that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I can promise you that.
I mean, sometimes I act a little special, but other than that, you know,
I do want to thank everyone for getting me to the 800 mark. Look at that.
Oh, congratulations.
I'm right on the money. So now somebody's going to go unsubscribe, but yeah, thank you.
And we know who, right? So
yeah. Well, I can't unsubscribe. So that's man, who someone must have took my place. Like, who did that?
Yeah, I want to thank everyone for getting me to that mark. Definitely appreciate every one of you. If you could, if you haven't subscribed to mine or Ike's channel, and now Brews and Theater Views.
Yeah, I had to change the channel name because the other one didn't exist.
Yeah,
as far as like the handle. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you could do all that YouTube stuff, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff, so that you can get notifications of the videos that I'm not posting, but the live shows you will definitely get the notifications for. So, yeah. But yeah, eventually I'll get to breaking some of these shows up and showing, just the theater tours and stuff like that. But definitely appreciate everyone. So how was your week, Ike? What you got going on this week?
Yeah, it's been good. Busy week. Spent most of the evening catching up on basketball. And I don't know, the NBA just keeps getting horrible to watch.
Lakers got eliminated, right?
Yeah, that's kind of expected. That was kind of a happy moment because the bulk of my friends are Lakers fans, so it was good to just see them sad.
Michael Jordan Jr.
Yeah. Yeah. He is becoming the giant killer, so Slayer or whichever. But yeah, it's been a busy week, not a fun week in terms of the theater. I think all my entire setup is disconnected because we had like a tornado watch for the last 2 days.
Oh wow!
So I went ahead, I just disconnected everything, and it's not even plugged back in yet. So
Wow.
just playing it safe, but I think we should be good.
Well,
from today.
How is unplugging it going to stop it from flying out of the roof is what I want to know.
Well, I was more concerned about the lightning and
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah. Well, if we had to worry about that, then it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. No, I was just.
I won't be sitting in here.
Absolutely not. And I would hope that you would be in shelter somewhere and not even caring about that stuff. So, but
I gotta save my speaker cables, man. If there's a tornado, you gotta get your cables.
You gotta get your dental floss holders.
It's all about the cables. I'm not leaving my speaker cables behind. And they're not cheap.
That's the one thing that maybe those $30,000 cables are worth it because
I know.
It's tied like that. No tornadoes tearing that thing apart.
Yeah, how do I recover from losing those cables, man? So I would have dug out my cables, man.
Those of you that don't know, that's sarcasm.
Yeah. Don't ever try to go get your cables.
No, you speak about tornadoes, and I actually was messing with the Lumagen this week. I purchased an IR repeater for my theater room because I have my rack in a closet that's separated from my theater room. So I got the rack, a dining room that's going to be converted into like a gaming type room, and then the theater. So the Lumagen, trying to adjust it, I would always have to get up and go to the closet and kind of like look from a distance. So I just went ahead and, like Jim told me to do, go buy a IR repeater. As a matter of fact, I had to buy 2 of them because the one that I bought, it said that it was going to be, said that it would arrive Tuesday. And then I got a message saying that it wasn't going to arrive till the following Monday.
So what type did you get? Did you get it from Jim or did you just bought?
No, I got it from Amazon. From Amazon. It works fantastic, to be honest with you. So I'll pull it up here for on my Amazon account or whatever. I'll pull it up and
I'm
show
curious
everyone.
because I need to get one just for
it works really good. And you know what? I plugged the receiver portion right into the side of into my seats because it's got the USB, charging station. I plugged it right in there and it works perfectly fine. So I just aim it right at my seat, right at one of my seats, and it works out great. So it's fairly small too. It's like a little disc. About this big.
Yeah, I think I need one of that because for my rack, I still have the glass door because I got a 3-year-old. Whenever I open that stuff, she's just in there pushing buttons. So yeah, it affects my ability to use my remotes. Not all the devices though. I think 1 or 2. I always have to find myself pointing.
Right.
But yeah, while we're on the topic of that, I got a shipping notification today, so I'm looking forward to next week and having a fun tool to play with for the next couple of weeks.
Nice. You don't want to tell us what that might be?
I said that's the topic we're on. All right, we're talking about the Lumagen, so
we're talking about. So. Well, I wanted you to be a little bit more specific of what you got coming. So
I thought I was being specific, but you wanted the S in front of it, so I was being specific now.
You were being Pacific.
I was being Pacific. I was being Pacific, but you wanted me to be specific. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully sometime next week.
Awesome. That's fantastic to hear that you're going to get that. I can say that the slides work. So, the slides that we went over, those of you that didn't see Jim on our show, make sure you go back and look. What episode is that? It's a couple episodes back. Let me go to the live here and see.
4 or 5 episodes.
So it was number 70. So go ahead and go back. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 episodes back, 5 weeks back. we went through some. We didn't really go through the slides, but we showed the slides, and it definitely works. So make sure you follow it. Make sure you follow that step by step to get it set up. You have a 16:9 screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you won't have a lot of the masking and stuff like that to do.
No, yeah, I just have a manual masking, so yeah.
So you won't see. I have a scope screen, so I had to get it set up to where it recognizes 16:9, then converts it to 240 and everything else like that. It does tell you how to in the slides how to do white and black color without like a colorimeter and stuff like that. So I haven't dove into that yet, but I did get it set up to where it's recognizing whatever I have content on the screen.
Maybe once I get it, we can do a setup. I can reach out to you. We can do a setup video or something and just try to put it together and see how it goes. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I thumbed my way through that the other day. And then I was able to watch a movie that was other than a kid's movie in my theater for the first time. So,
okay, that's all right. That's news.
So, and I was getting to the fact you were talking about the Twisters. I was getting to the fact that I actually played the opening scene the other day, just while I was messing around with the Lumagen for the Twisters remake that they did. Man, just the beginning of that is insane. I mean, just the beginning of that movie is insane for the remake of the Twisters that they did, as far as Atmos and everything else like that. It's really good. So, how about you, Paul? What you got going on this past week? Anything good?
I got a new VPN provider. I didn't do anything with my rack. I'm knock on wood, I'm completely done with my network upgrade, my QNAP upgrade. And I've got it running on SSD, fully RAID 1 and RAID 5 for Pool 2, where I keep all the data. And then I watched the movie Paint, which whatever, it was all right. And it wasn't bad. I was just like, I was expecting something else.
Sounds like a bad paint job.
It was more of it was like a romance type of thing.
A bad paint job.
Yeah. And other than that, I was watching one of my animes, Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. So nothing else going on besides that.
So how about you, Rick? Anything exciting that you've done in your theater the past week or two? That I know we're just meeting you here, but anything that you've watched or done in your theater for over the past week or so?
As far as work in the theater, not very much. We're kind of at a point where it's about to get real expensive, so just kind of saving up for some upgrades that I know are needed going forward. As far as movies watched, I've kind of been waiting on. We watched Wicked the other day. That was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. I didn't know if I was going to like it, but I actually did enjoy it. So I think that was the last one we watched. It had Moana 2. The soundtrack for Moana 2 in my theater, as far as what I heard, was incredible. It had a lot of stuff going on, so I really enjoyed that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was wondering how because I purchased Wicked and I haven't watched it yet, so I was wondering how that was. And you said so Moana 2 was really good, huh?
Yeah, as far as the soundtrack is concerned, I think that the first movie was a little bit better, but the soundtrack on the second one, normally my girlfriend can't hear, like Atmos doesn't impress her. My theater is a 9.4 or right now it's 9.2.6. But she can't hear the wide. She can't really, kind of get out of it what I get out of it. But when we sat down for Moana 2, it really, caught her off guard with some of the things that she was hearing and where she was hearing them at in the theater.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I've been thinking about purchasing that. I haven't even watched Moana 1, so but I do
pretty
need
good
to.
movie.
Yeah, I understand. From what I understand, it's pretty good. So
Yeah.
that'll be a kids movie I can.
Yeah, I've watched
quickly.
it halfway. I never, the kids watched it. I never finished it. So I might need to go back and watch it again.
So one of the movies, well, we'll go to this here first. We talked about that IR blaster, so I found it. Wanted to share this real quick. It works fantastic. I mean, it's the size of it's probably the size of a little bit bigger than a quarter, to be honest with you. So it's not much. It looks big in the picture here.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a fancy IR blaster.
Yeah. So and it comes with it comes with an extender for here in case you want to put this part in the back somewhere, and then you just put this underneath your screen to point at or your TV, and then it comes with one of these with two different blasters emitters on the end so that you can put it right over top of it, but right over top of the IR of whatever device you're trying to control. But I mean, works fantastic. Like I said, it comes with a cell phone charger, like a plug brick, and then it comes with the like a USB like 3 type of adapter on the end. So I didn't even use the power brick on the one side. On the receiver side, this blue one here, I just plugged it directly into my seats and kept all the cords nice and wrapped up, because eventually I won't need this because I'll be doing Control 4. So just to give you an update on that. And then the movie that I watched was actually really good. Last Breath. So it's got Woody Harrelson in it. It's a true story. So basically it's about divers that work at like super deep depths, doing welding and all kind of stuff like that. And these guys got to go out and repair something in the middle of the ocean, and a storm comes and stuff like that. And basically I would say it's gravity in the water.
Right.
So but it's good, and the soundtrack is excellent too. So I would suggest everybody go ahead and take a look at this, because it was decent. The movie was better than a rainy day movie, but the atmos and stuff was really good. I had panning of waves, and my theater's not even fully calibrated, but I had panning of waves coming down the sides of my walls and stuff like that. It was pretty good.
Cool.
So I would highly suggest that, just for the audio aspect, but the story in itself was good too. So
yeah, talking about remotes, I just remembered something. The Unfolded Circle 3 looks like it's now available for pre-order on their website. Yep.
Wow, that looks very similar.
Yep. So it's now showing up on their website, and there's a pre-order button. Obviously, it's not cheap, but there seems to be a lot hanging on this one, and I'm just hoping that it's what the hype for anybody that thinks.
So it's at about 500 US.
Yeah,
that's much cheaper than the other ones. I think the other one's like $1,500. The other brands out there.
Yeah, it's like 500 US, and but it's out there. You talked about Control 4. I just remembered that I was taking a look at it. So if you are looking for a remote and you have $500 to spend, this is looking like the next big thing. There's a lot hanging on it. We haven't obviously seen any reviews for the Circle 3. I think there's a couple of reviews for the Circle 2. So we really don't know, but we're hoping that it's the next budget-friendly, remote
Yeah,
control
500 is
out there.
not that bad because there's another one out there that's they really want you to do everything through an integrator, but you can program it. I can't remember the name of it now.
Is it a cantata or whatever it's called?
No.
Not that one.
I'll have to figure it out, but I'll look it up and get it by the end of the show. But yeah, there's another one. Actually, DJ was just talking about it. That him and one of his guests were talking about it on a Takeover Tuesday the other day. So just can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's like $1,500 for that thing, for that for that one plus the dock and all that stuff, and they actually gave
like.
Yeah, but the build for this one looks really sleek. I was looking for a particular. Yeah, it looks
like the buttons are backlit too, which is nice because when you're in the dark, it's tough to see that. I can't stand when you gotta turn on the cell phone camera. I mean, flashlight just to be able to see.
And I like the way the dock looks. It's nicely on the dock.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to have all the bells and whistles.
And
I think IP control.
What all controls? So is that a slider that they're on? So it's a.
Yep, it looks like a volume slider. Yeah, the touch slider.
Yeah, so that I'm not sure. Okay, so that's a touch slider for that.
Yep. Okay. Wireless charging, infrared, and it looks but. It's out there, so if you're willing to take a gamble, and it's probably going to be the cheapest gear in your home theaters.
Yeah, I like. It looks like that one has. See, I like the design of this one because I know a lot of them. Because you don't need all the buttons, right? Once you get something set up, you really only need a couple physical buttons.
Yeah.
I love touchscreen stuff, right? But when it comes to like a remote. Especially when
I like the physical buttons better.
Yeah, whenever you're just grabbing something.
Yeah, the tags can sometimes.
You know exactly where it is. You'd never have to look. The backlight helps you like pick it up and then know exactly where to go. But on a touch, you could easily mishit something.
And look, the OS is Linux based.
Oh, see, then it's got some sort of potential, future. Nowadays, you could probably use ChatGPT to download and create all your friggin' IR codes.
Probably,
right? Add icons and all that stuff. I mean, you could
get them to write your whole series for you.
Write me a Python script to show this icon for this with this IR codes. I mean, so I don't understand why. I know the hardware probably costs a lot of money to make and manufacture, but other than that,
look bad. Does look pretty good.
Yeah, especially with the touch screen and just But at the end of the day, it's just the software has to do the right thing, right?
It has to have the support. It has to have the backing and the tech. It either has to be open source. That'll be the one that takes off, right? That'll be the one.
Look at all the fancy stuff, man. There's a gyroscope, accelerometer, the ambient light sensor.
Why would you need a gyroscope?
Air mouse, bro. You're paying $500, man. You got to come with everything.
I mean, unless you're using it as like a gaming console or something like gaming.
Hey, when it's Linux based, the opportunities are endless.
Yeah, that's true.
So I like the auto display and the backlit, so you can adjust the buttons. So
cool.
But I don't know, but it looks very enticing.
So, Rick, what are you using in your theater right now for like a remote?
So I don't have a lot of equipment in there. It's pretty much just dedicated to movie watching. So, video games, I'm a Call of Duty fan, so I play that downstairs. So I'm just using Apple TV remote and the receiver remote, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, very good.
I like Stefan's comment, if I'm pronouncing that right. I never thought about that. The gyroscope is like for LG remotes have the mouse where you can,
where you can use it.
That makes total sense. I was like, I wasn't even thinking about that. Because I love a lot of people hate that, but I love that remote. And
Yeah, I use it on my LG
the
TV.
magic. What is it? The magic.
Yeah,
magic,
the magic mouse. Like I can be anywhere.
The
Once you get
LG
used to
remote
it,
has it too.
it's definitely something you have to kind of have that. I can drive an RC car toward me type of brain. And if you don't have that, and it's not a smart or a dumb thing, it's just a different way of processing things. If you don't have that kind of mentality, I can see why people would hate it. But I love that thing because I can just be sitting anywhere and be like, don't even have to point. I could be over there and then move the mouse and boop, 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 and select stuff. But I
That's nice.
People hate
it.
Yeah,
because like
can you replace the battery? I sure hope so, man. Yeah. And I hope it's not as complicated as was the other one we have. What's the freaking remote? Everybody having a remote. Because replacing the battery for that stuff can be a PI.
I'm sure you can, because shoot, I think you can even take the Apple TV remote apart. Now you have to have a special microscope and a screwdriver.
Yeah. So I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat. We got Derek. Good evening. Appreciate you for joining. We got Van Gool in the house. Thank you, Van Gool. Steven or Stefan. Got Stefan in the house. Thank you.
Yeah.
We got
names.
E4 Superfly. So the question is, the room is functionable. Okay, so I can watch a movie on it. It's got subwoofers. It's got Atmos speakers. It's not aesthetically where I want it to be. I still have to do treatments and basically install a whole fabric wall around the whole entire thing. And then I am in the process of, I think I'm going to have to get a mini split. It's starting to get warm here, and I ran ductwork there, but I think I'm going to have to wind up biting the bullet because it was a little warm today. Like I told my wife, I said, look, I can probably get it to the temperature that I want if I know we're going to watch a movie in an hour, but if I just want to pop in there and watch a movie,
Now, let me ask you this as a thought. Now, I don't know with the neighborhood, just a thought. I wonder if they make like a vertical mini splits where you could put it where your door is, your outside door. You know what I mean? That way, to cut into the side of the house.
So the one that I still have the opportunity, which is why I didn't shut that side door that I have. I didn't close everything in just because I knew that I wanted to wait until the summertime to see what happened. But I still have 9 inches of room to run the cable up there. And I'm not looking for the one that has like the device that goes on the wall. There's one that actually sits in the ceiling like a regular register.
Okay.
So I'm going to run that one up there.
That's the only thing I don't like about the mini splits is hanging them on the wall.
Yeah, so this one will sit up in the ceiling.
That's cool.
Oh, so
that's cool.
So you have to cut like an opening for it to just sit up there.
Well, the good news is I already have an opening, right? So
oh yeah, you have that one right there.
I have an opening to my attic, so I can basically design and build right around that.
Yeah, because I've been really thinking about one for my theater, but I'm like, I have an external wall, right? I'm like, what is it going to take for me to hang one? And I really don't have the height also, right, in the theater, so it's not like I might be able to just put it up there without it being in the way of everything. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do, but I think I really need one in my theater.
Yeah, I'm I was trying to avoid it, but like I said, I'm going to talk to somebody to see maybe if I can get like a fan that's super quiet to help pull some air in there. I may try that first, just to see, long as it's quiet. So this is the one that you actually put into the ceiling.
Oh, and you can put a couple of
that looks like the one Eric had in his theater, right? The similar.
Yeah. So I mean, and look, I mean, they're on sale, and there's one called Mr. Cool also, I believe.
Is that in Costco, or what site is that?
I don't know where. I don't even know where I just pulled it up from.
Oh, HVAC Direct. Oh.
HVAC Direct. So, but yeah, I mean, you can put this up and I can put this up in the ceiling, and it shouldn't sound too loud. The problem with me is I have no power on that side of the house, so I have to run conduit around the house. Which, I mean, there's conduit to my because we live in Florida. It's all cinder block house, so we got to run. If I do this, I got to have to run it outside and run it around. But there's I have conduit to my floodlight up until the one corner of the house where my theater is on, and then I'll just have to run it down that side, which I wanted to avoid, but whatever, you know.
So CB is asking, how is it going to drain? Where would it drain?
So these things, they have like their own tubing system. So I believe it would drain to the outside.
Right.
You know, so I know what he's saying, because obviously they all drain to the outside, but it has like a tube for all of that it takes it all away, I believe. So
just make sure wherever you put it, it's not going to drip on anything costly.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have the LG version. We built what we refer to as a casita here in the Southwest for my mother, and we use the LG version, and it's got 2 of those in-ceiling ones because of that exact reason that you talked about, Don. Is I didn't want the big unit in the room,
right?
So that was the unit that we went with. They work fantastic. We got one in the ceiling in her bedroom, and then one in the ceiling in the living space.
Mm-hmm.
And what it has an additional duct that you can open up and then run that ducting into another space. So that ducting runs into the bathroom. So she's got heating and cooling in the 2 separate rooms, and then the bathroom is also cooled. So the large unit is actually mounted on top of the casita, and it just drains out onto the roof, and the roof wicks the water away.
I think I see.
It actually works really, really well, and I had wanted to do that in the theater because that's on the 2nd floor, so it gets pretty hot on the 2nd floor. But I was getting quotes of $20,000, $18,000 for just that, because we have her unit just in her casita, and then we have the upstairs unit by itself, and then we also have a unit for the downstairs. So each floor has a different AC and heating unit. So it was going to be pretty pricey for me.
I see. Yeah, so I'm looking here. The Mr. Cool ceiling one.
I see they have the casitas.
It's cool that it has 2. That's kind of nice. This
is
how it is.
This is the 4-way.
You don't want
one up there.
Yeah, that's 2.
Yeah, that's the exact one.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to look into the LG. Is it quiet?
Absolutely. It's a lot quieter than the unit I have upstairs in my theater now. You can't really hear it at all.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So that's unfortunately that's probably the way that I'm gonna have to go.
The question becomes, how do you manage sound travel through this? Yeah, well, it's got to be a trade-off.
Well, you
got to EQ for that.
Well, there's really no sound traveling through this. You know, I mean, it's not like a duct.
It's a sealed unit.
Yeah, it's a sealed unit. It's less than what I would have for my normal AC, which there lies the other problem. I have ducting going to that one, so I guess I could close that hole, and just, close that. It would be difficult for me to get rid of the other duct work. It's flex duct, but it would be difficult for me to get to that section that I added on to close it off and everything else. So, but yeah, so thanks for sharing that about the LG, because I'll definitely look into that.
Right.
So getting back to seeing who's in the chat, we got C-Big in the house, Terrence in the house. Thank you guys for joining. Oh, Mr. Scott, what's going on, man? Bass brings us together. He's got his event coming up. So It either happened this week or last week, or it's coming up this week. I can't remember what it is, but I hope you have a great event or had a great event, Scott. I apologize. I don't remember what it. I believe it. I believe it's still
this weekend.
Yeah, I think it's still this weekend. Yeah. So glad to see you made a good recovery there too, Scott. So
yeah, get everyone to sign those disclaimers, man.
Dude, he's the one that's gonna need them. He's gonna
have, hold
on, let me step outside. I might rip a stitch here.
Yeah.
So I think he's up to 20 18s in that room now.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a lot, man.
That's a lot of pressure.
I hope you told your doctor that, man.
I mean, he's getting almost to another 6 dB just, on, surface area alone. Double, with discussion we had last time, you got to double it every time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So we got Ambius. He asked a question about the remote earlier. Ambius.
Yeah, we talked.
Ambius Black. We got. Let's see, anybody else in the chat that we may have missed. No, I think we look good there. So, Rick, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into this hobby, and what makes you say, "Hey, I want to tear a room apart and build a theater"?
Well, again, Rick Houston, and I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico here. I work at the district attorney's office. I do security as well as manage the facilities. So I'm on my feet most of the day, walking around, making sure everything is secure and everything is taken care of. It started like most of us, it started in car audio. So big into car audio before I could even drive a car. I was always tinkering around in the car that my sister drove, replacing 6x9s, just trying to, get in there and get my hands dirty. My dad's always had this rack system in the 70s. We had this tall rack system with some floor standards. I figured out how to hook it up to the TV one day using some RCA cables that I found in a box that he had. And when the TV came out of the speakers for the stereo, I was hooked. Just having the TV play that loud and watching a movie that loud, it was amazing. So again, car audio for the longest time. I was actually invited to IASCA and USAC finals in 94 and 95. I was invited to compete in IASCA finals as well as USAC finals. Those years, I'm an audio guy. I'm trying to get into the video side. It's going to take me a little bit because I've been on the audio side for so long. But I've heard some amazing cars. Mark Eldridge had a 4Runner that was fantastic. So I've just been around, car audio for so long, and then you kind of grow out of that once you start, having a family and buying a home. And doing things like that. So you just kind of transition into this new hobby that we have here called home theater.
Yeah. Did you hear that there's a new world record set for the dB level? It was 186.61 or maybe 63. I don't remember.
Wow.
Car audio.
That's car audio, right?
Yeah, 186.6. I forget the last digit, but I was like, see, and that's why I got out, because I'm like, you win 140 dB, and literally and that was amateur, right? There are certain classes where, if you're, I think they called it, Joe was talking about it, or Aaron on the Daily Hi-Fi about, if you get anything for free, you're in the plus class and all this stuff. And it's really strict, right? And then like once you win like a certain thing, you're not really allowed to compete with that. At least back then, it was like, okay, well now you're classed out. You're good enough. You need to go up. Man, those tiers are not cheap. You're not like, oh yeah, here's my home, DIY. Once you get out of that, Those people had like $80,000 systems back, in the 80s. I was like, nah, bro, that's
and they go through equipment like you wouldn't believe. They blow and amps, and they just go through so much equipment. It just
I lost the competition because I popped it was a 60 amp breaker or a fuse. So I ended up putting the 120 amp breaker in. I had to put a breaker in because I was like, I thought I blew my amp up, and I was like mortified. I was like, no. It was just a fuse. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah.
Whenever you're having to have when you have to go to an automotive place to have your alternator rewound to be higher capacity than what it is capable of, you're in.
Or
in the business.
when you put a whole separate alternator and other batteries.
Yeah.
That's I got out of doing like I never got into like professional competition or anything, but I got out of competition once I seen people putting braces on their windshields and literally taking the deck with 12 feet of wire and stepping out of the car. I'm like, all right, this makes no more sense to me.
I had the remote. I was at the level to where I had to have a remote. Like you weren't even allowed in the car. Like you're at.
Yeah, hopefully you guys are doing this in the parking lot of like a cardiology conference or something.
Well, yeah, man.
180 dB don't make sense to me, man. There's no way you would convince me.
They had to take the decks. They had to take the decks out of the car because the CDs would skip.
Right.
So there was so much, it would just vibrate so much that the CDs wouldn't play in the car. You'd get like the first note or two, and then it would just start skipping. So they had to start doing that.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it was good times up until then. I literally I had a Cavalier, a Chevy Cavalier. I think I paid like $6,000 for it, and I had more audio equipment than I had in this probably double the amount of money into the audio that I paid for the car. So,
yes, sir.
But I literally cut the back seat of my there's a brace. I was hacksawing. I hacksawed the brace out. Pushed 215 Rockford Fosgates right at my head. So I had that. I had like awesome. 8 16 6x9s in there.
Damn.
And then like I had two sets of the separate tweeters and 2 8s in the doors. I was I ran 2 Phoenix Gold amps is what I ran back then. So
that was the good stuff back then. Well, that's what I consider the good stuff. This stuff now is good too, but
it's way better.
God,
by far.
It's insane, dude. Like it's totally different world. Totally different world.
Yeah. So car audio got you into it, and then you said you hooked up the RCA jacks. You didn't have any experience at who gave you the idea to, hey, I need to explore this and hook my dad's stereo up to.
Well, I think I was about 12 years old when I did that, and it didn't go well. Dad wasn't happy when I was done. So later on to when I started really getting into it seriously, I had a brother-in-law whom again was into car audio. We both did that. But he transitioned into home theater before I did. And he got a Bose system. He paid for a Bose system and hooked it up. And, that little subwoofer doing its thing was pretty impressive at the time. And so I just kind of followed along with him. I followed along, got some Bose stuff. And then I upgraded the Klipsch, and I got some RF3s and never looked back. And we just kind of went toe to toe. We would compete back and forth. He had far much more money than I did, but I did my best. And he he had the first projector I had ever seen. He was projecting it on a wall. Had some NHT Super Ones with the I think it was like the M6s or M1s they had with the subwoofer and the bass. You could buy them separate and then put them together. He had that. It was an amazing system. But that's when it started. I got the Klipsch and never looked back from there. I was just addicted.
Yeah, no, it's once you go to somebody's house, or I can remember going into like an outlet type of mall, and they had a Bose store there, and they had these. They did that whole presentation to where it looked like huge speakers, and then but yet it was just the two little cubes on the wall.
Yeah.
You know, and I was hooked after that. I was like, all right, I have to have something, you know. So
I fell for that one too.
Yeah. Yeah, and at the time, you know, Bose was the speaker to go for, you know, at least for people that didn't know a ton about the audio industry, you know. So it's kind of like you know, Sonos now, you know, they're ruling the industry now, you know, for you know, just regular consumer speakers, you know. So
I actually have the Bose stands, but I have the Cambridge Soundworks cubes. That's actually what I'm still using to this day for my computer. That's how I'm listening right now.
Hey, you know, I told you guys last week I had a Bose soundbar up in my bedroom that I use, you know, so it gets the job done, and it's, you know, fairly inexpensive until my wife tells me that I can put the 135-inch black diamond screen up there. I could pull with John Anthony. John Anthony's got I think 120-inch with focal towers all around his bedroom. So I've been trying to get him to get back on here to show us his bedroom theater, you know. So yeah, it's he's got three setups basically, but I'm trying to get him back on here. He's just been super busy with his kids and everything else, which is totally understandable. Family first. So So what are we dealing with here? I know that, you know, we talked about your room. You know, you said that in the backstage in the green room or whatever, you said it's not going to be, you know, nothing that's going to wow us because everything's kind of covered. You decided to cover a lot of the stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the build on Rick's build thread on AVS forum. So we're going to go through that. But just to show some pictures to start. So what are we looking at room size, Rick? What size is your room?
The room sits 16 wide by 21 deep. And so it used to be a second master. So the main master is on the first floor. This was a second master, which is on the second floor. The bar that you see to the left there, that is actually where the closet was for the master. So we kind of took that out, and what you're looking at is half of the first rendition of my theater. So the bar kind of faces to your right. The screen was on your right-hand side there. That was the teardown of the very first iteration of my theater.
And then you had some Atmos speakers up here and some in walls in the back here.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the front sort of facing the rear. So you see there's a huge window on your right-hand side there. And then in the back, there's another window. So the room is 9 feet tall, but it is surrounded by 3 outside or exterior walls. So the only interior wall we have is the one on your left with the 2 doors. That doors go out to a hallway, and then one into the Jack and Jill bathroom that's on the second floor.
Now, okay, so this is that's exactly what I was going to ask. It looks like because of the plywood that this is flooring, that this is a second floor. So
Yes.
that's what I was going to go with.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna jump ahead. Did you do the? Did you carpet the floor yourself, or?
We actually went with Lowe's Home Improvement. We contracted them. That was the only thing that I didn't do. That and then run the electrical for the projector. So I stay away from plumbing and I stay away from electrical. So
I can handle those two. The carpet thing, I'm like, man, I think I can do it, but man, it's stretching the carpet.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, my knees aren't up to it. I know they have the newer machines or devices where you can put them on both sides and just like, lever it, but it's like I haven't looked at how much.
Yeah, I think carpet is one of those things you just pay someone to.
I know that's why I'm like.
Let me tell you another one. Yeah. Drywall.
Yeah,
drywall I can do. It's the
drywall,
modding I will pay someone to do.
Drywall, if you have at least one other person,
yeah.
Drywall is totally doable.
It's the modding, depending on how perfect you want it. The modding.
Yeah.
But I think carpet and electricity, I'll pay someone to do those.
I do the electric, but I had training in that in a vocational school, and plumbing and electrical, or
if I do the electrical, I'll always
you can do electrical, you can do plumbing.
Like I can do it, but I will always be worried. Like if I go out of town, like man, I hope that damn light I plugged in the theater just
Terrence nailed it. The sanding is the hardest part and there are so many tools that you, especially nowadays, that you can have, like you can get like sanders that are connected to vacuums, and you just it's a whole new world, man. Because back in my day we had like just basically it was like a mop that you
anyway, or hands.
Sorry, I was jumping ahead because I was like, has anybody done that? Is it even doable? I want to hear someone say,
if you do carpet for a living, you can do it.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Or is it one of those Don things where, hey, just bite the bullet? Pay someone.
So good news here. Mortgage rates are coming down, guys.
Yeah, I saw that.
5.3. So, no, but so Rick, did you get? You got these drawings on your thread here. Did you design these drawings yourself, or did you get somebody to help you do the design?
No. So I actually, when I first posted that I was going to be building a theater, I had someone reach out to me and offered their services to go ahead and get some drawings up. I remember not really knowing or understanding, what I was going to get in the end. So I was kind of hesitant, but I would say anyone that's going to really put in some time and some effort into building a theater from scratch should reach out to someone and help them with a design, because the information that he was able to put together and give to me to help me build this by myself was just it was worth every penny.
Yeah. I mean, we've had Abe on here. I would highly recommend 3D Squared. You guys saw the level of detail that they're putting into Mr. Lang's theater. But yeah, so you would see or you can see what the type of detail that they put into it. So
it's crazy. Yeah.
And so these ones here that you're looking at now, these are we literally tried to go by the inch to get to what he had drawn. Everything is where it needs to be as far as the speakers are concerned, angles are concerned. We got down to the thickness of some of the materials that we were using. He used those in the drawings. So it really helped me dial in, where the speakers are going to go. We did run into some Atmos issues with the the trusses on the roof, but outside of that, we stayed pretty much right on to where the drawings had all the speakers. I was able to give him where the studs were. As you could see, we talked about the blue paint, painter's tape on the wall. That kind of helped me give him the information on where the studs were, and he put it all in the drawing, and what I got out of it was amazing.
And by the way, I apologize. It's Mr. Long, not Mr. Lang. I apologize. I misspoke there. So apologize for that. So, nice that they were able to provide these drawings. And then, we can see here that you kind of outlined everything like you were just talking about with the blue tape. And I guess these are where all the studs are.
Same thing. Yeah. Whenever I'm doing any like hanging or electrical work or with the masking of the studs, because I'm just such a visual person. It's like, no, I need to know exactly where the hell each one, because some of them, as you can see, some of them are like doubled up because of a door or something on the other side, or whatever the case may be. And just doing something like that, it's worth every bit of time that you
100%.
So. And
you can actually see there's a line that runs through the rectangles are the speakers that were going to go in the wall. So that line there, in his design and in his audio design, he had the level of the tweeter as it went to the back of the room. With the second row, he had the tweeter level kind of moving up as well, all the way to the back. So we just put that line, and we drew that line, or we had that line all the way around the room, and then we found out what the center of the speakers would be, and so that's kind of how we drew it out to make sure that everything was exactly where he had drawn it in the design.
All right, and then looks like we got some Atmos layout here.
Right, and you can see, like, that's why I don't like drywall. You can see the texture there.
Yes.
You cannot, if you didn't do drywall every day, there's no way an amateur can match that texture.
My brother can do that. And yes, that's the only reason I haven't put Atmos. I didn't do the in ceilings because I was like, oh, I have a very custom textured ceiling. And I was like, no, I ain't trying to recreate that patch because
it is a nightmare.
This speaker wound up being kind of close, like you were talking about, Paul. There should be a double stud here for the door jamb framing. So that I'd imagine that sits right on that.
Yeah, and you can see the two holes in the upper right-hand corner where I was trying to locate it in there because I couldn't get a good reading on the stud finder. So I kind of had to poke some holes to find out where that stud was.
Yeah. And then we got some Atmos popped in there now.
Yeah, so those are actually the previous Atmos that I had to take out. Yeah, so we removed those, and so we'll have the Atmos facing the right direction.
This is where you removed the pony wall. That's what the top section is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We're going long ways. Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. Dang.
So they had asked what those two marks were, if the speakers were at the top, where the two bottom ones. So what I wanted to do was, the goal of this theater, which you could see, was very minimalist. I didn't want to see anything or anything to take away from me watching the movie. So those are actually the in-wall subs from Klipsch that we had gotten to go in the wall and sit behind fabric as well, so you wouldn't be able to see subs in the room as well.
I honestly didn't even know Klipsch had in-wall subs. Is that on their theater line or is that their consumer line?
It's their architectural line.
Oh, architectural line. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was like, it's got to be a different line than okay.
And unfortunately, they just didn't provide the amount of bass that I needed in the room. So they're still there. They're back there. They're in the wall. I didn't end up taking them out just yet. But they couldn't go low enough, and they just didn't have the volume that I wanted. But they are back there, and that's what those are.
Gotcha. Cool.
Hey, if you ever sell the house, you can give them those versus your other ones, right?
Absolutely. I've got 9 clipped in walls sitting in a closet up here too. They can have those as well. I'll throw those in too.
Nice.
So we got the wide and the surround here.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like this is the riser that you're building.
Right.
I like the little step. Let's see. Okay.
So
yeah.
Again, having these drawings and having the measurements from the designer, I mean, it's such a benefit to have, and like I said, anyone that's doing it should really consider it. It's not cheap, but
they got your drawings now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, they got your drawings for this for now, but yeah, that's you use 2x12s for this or 2x10s?
2x12s.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
yeah, and they did the 3D thing for everything, like as far as like the room walkthrough and stuff like that. Because that's like, there's no way. Like I do 3D printing stuff, and it's like I've come to the realization that it literally takes like the 5th print is your final like acceptable, because until you get it in your hand or you visually can see it,
right,
you don't know what. And everybody's a little different with design, right? So it's like you might be like, I want to step over here. So it's cool that you did do that. And yeah, I do recommend that, just because it gives you as close as you can without actually, let me build a theater and see if I like it. And then it's like, nah, let me tear it down and then rebuild a whole, a whole new one. And that's what these services provide, which is really
cool. And we sort of went back and forth, he and I, kind of on design.
Yep.
I knew what I had in mind. So it was me trying to convey that to him, and him kind of get an understanding of what I was thinking.
Exactly.
But he was able to take that. We went back and forth. If you go back a couple of slides, the window, there was a window there, and
it looks like you covered it up.
Yeah, so we kind of went back and forth. At the very beginning, he wanted me to do it, and I kept telling him I couldn't. The girlfriend's not going to let me do it, sort of thing. Because we are in real estate, and so we didn't want to do anything permanent to the room that would cost us a whole lot to put it back to where it was, or to make it livable again, or to make it a bedroom again. So that was something that we kind of went back and forth over. And then in the end, I just convinced her to let me do it, just by showing her all I have to do is build this box, slide it into the opening. The window stays there. Everything stays there. And with 6 to 8 screws, I can pull it right back out, and it would go right back to the way that it was.
Cool.
Yeah, I noticed.
So how did you trim that out? Did you actually drywall trim it, or did you do like a framing around that?
Yeah, so I framed out the whole entire space, and then so I framed it out just like you would a wall, 16 on center. I tried to match them up with the studs that are already in the wall. So even if you were to run a stud finder over it, you would find 16 on center studs right behind it. I insulated it so that it's just like any other wall that you would find.
Cool. So that's pretty cool.
So before I got ahead of myself, I was like, what the heck is he doing here?
So those are the
curb feelers.
We're using those to run the wire.
Curb feelers.
That's what they look like to me. Like, that's old school curb feelers right there. Like, yeah, here's where the wall is.
Yeah, I was wondering, but then I got the idea right here. I'm like, I went ahead and found out what you guys were doing here.
Yeah. So during the initial, I kind of went out and called some contractors to see about doing the electrical, to see about doing the HVAC. I called Listen Up to have them come out and run all the wires for the Atmos and run them through the wall to get to the front of the theater. And, my girlfriend was like, Rick, you can do this. You can do this. You've done this before. You don't need them to do it. You can do it. But I didn't want to drill a bunch of holes in the top plate. So I didn't want holes, coming down, because we're doing 9.6 for Atmos. So that would be a ton of holes in my top plate that I just didn't want to drill. And so we thought of this, and it worked out perfectly, just based on the design that we were going with the panels as well as the fabric wall. So it's back there, it's down there. I only had to make holes in the top plate for the HDMI cables to the projector and for the Atmos.
Okay. Yeah. So you literally have the wires running directly behind where the screen is too, then, huh?
Yeah. And that is where the adhesive behind the tabs kind of let go in the heat of the afternoon, and so we ended up having to go back through and rewire everything.
Oh wow.
And so I put a nice size staple in them, and they've stayed up ever since.
I see. Yeah, I see them. They hit the floor.
Yeah.
You had it so nice and neat, like this one. I was like,
yeah, that's the final product. We went with a different style of hanger, and then, like I said, we put a staple in it, and it's stayed up there without issue.
So
almost looks like that heating and cooling for like the tubes that go on the floor in cold areas. You got all that.
Yeah. The radiant heat, we have that in our first floor as well.
Oh, okay.
So there you'll see.
Now you're starting to build the wall out a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so we had to frame it out because I knew we were going to do the fabric track.
Okay.
But I also wanted to add some depth to that wall to give me a little bit more depth for me to add some sound deadening material. Sound deadening material and its application in this hobby is a hot topic. Mm-hmm. So we kind of furred it out a little bit. That's about 3/4 of an inch, and then I put another.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's that, a 1x2, basically?
Yeah, and then another. The track was 2 inches, so I was able to tuck in a 2-inch thick sound deadening material behind the front screen to stop some reflections up there.
Wow. We'll get to your fabric in a little bit, but this is the part that I'm getting ready to start. So,
oh my goodness,
this is interesting that we're going through this. So, I basically had the same idea: use furring strips and use a 2-inch or 3-inch fabric mate. So
yeah,
I think that's all the pictures.
I think we're at the front of that one.
Yeah.
So the next series of pictures will be the fabric track.
So let's see if I can get out of this. Let me see. Let me stop sharing this for a second because I'm having difficulty getting out. Oh, there's the close button. Okay. Present share screen. Sorry, guys, I couldn't find the close button there. So we should be back to normal here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we did all that.
And there you can see. So there's the wall for the window.
That's the window that you blocked in. Okay.
Right.
So it looks like you just used some rock wool.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
And luckily for us, my the exterior walls are all 2x6.
And then it looks like you added some framing for the front.
Yeah, so that framing is actually the framing that's on the wall there. We had to fur out the tracks for the lights, for the LED lights.
Okay.
So the thickness of the fabric track, the thickness of the wall slats, and the thickness of the track for the LEDs were all different. So I had to, kind of figure out ways to get them all to line up so it wouldn't be like 3 different levels to everything. I wanted everything to be as flush as possible. So those boards there are there to bring out the track for the LED lights to match up with the thickness of the fabric track.
So, chat, if you have any questions, be sure to post them. Just looking back here at the chat right now to see make sure we're not missing anybody's question about the build here. Yeah. But sound off in the chat if you have questions. Let's see here. All right, so we'll continue to go down.
I'm always fascinated by the build process and the design and stuff.
Yeah, that's the window beforehand.
I wish I could run my speaker cables on the wall like that too.
If you fabric track everything, you could.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons we went that direction.
You would not. Yeah, I don't think so, man. It looks good, but it just feels like a lot of work, man.
Oh, well, especially as neat as he did it.
Yeah, because I know I watched Chris do it, my home theater, and man, that's a lot of work.
I mean, I climbed up in the attic to run all my wires and stuff.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
I ran all mine through Smurf tube, so I had to run the Smurf tube first.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pick your poison. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Jeremy Tech Enthusiasm, he wrapped his around too and covered them up. So it makes it easier to access them. So.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So this looks like the riser is finished here in this picture here.
And that's some patchwork for the holes. That's some drywall work that I didn't want to do myself, so I hired that out too.
Okay. Nice. Up here.
Yeah.
All right. And that's for the old Atmos that were up there.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of our framing and our stuff done to get everything kind of furred out to the distances and stuff that it needs to be. So you'll look at the top. There you go. There's our track system.
Nice. Fabric track installed on the screen wall. Very nice. Yeah. So this is the point to where I'm at right now, to where I need to build some panels for the front, which will just be made out of this furring and wrapped.
Right.
But then on the side walls and stuff, I'll need to use this fabric mate. And I think with the design that I'm going to do, I think I'm going to have to, unfortunately, because this stuff is not cheap.
Not at all.
I think I'm going to have to double it up too, because I want to put a diffuser to allow LED lighting to go in there. I'll see how you did yours here, and you'll help me with my decision here. But because I think you said you had some LED lighting too, so
right,
you'll be able to help me with that here. But I know that this fabric mate, this track is not inexpensive at all. Did you hang this yourself? Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you, did you hang it all yourself?
Yeah, so you have to get a fine tooth or a high tooth blade to cut it with, and we just kind of, went through. We made a lot of mistakes the first round trying to get them, cut to the right angles. Like you'll see, there's a different kind of track there where it takes it from both sides, so it'll pull it in. If you run it down the middle, you can stretch it up and down, and then on the other side it just needs to go one direction, so it just lays over in the one direction. So that's the difference you see in thickness right there. There's a different type of track.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be calling you. If you can help me plan this out. I know Fabric Track or Fabric Mate, they actually offer I think a free design service too. But
I wish I would have used it, because my goodness. So there you'll see I didn't really want to use anything with fiberglass in the room, even though I know it was going to be behind the fabric. I still was a little cautious about it. And then again, I have my mom living with us, whom I didn't want, for her to be inhaling anything bad. So I sort of went with this jean material. It's supposed to give off a lot less particles in the air. And so that's what we used for, kind of sound control and some acoustics properties. So it gives me pretty good results around the room after running some tests and doing some things. My RT60 is super low. It's lower than what it should be at this point.
Wow.
And so I'm kind of doing some things to get my RT60 up a little bit, which I know a lot of people have issues with getting it down. I think
that's where your diffusion comes in.
Right. And so I've made some adjustments and some additions to add in some diffusion.
What is your RT60?
I
know in this world it's like, I don't want to say.
No, it's actually in here. We'll find it.
Okay. So So this Gene material, actually, Jonathan talks about a room all the time that had like a Gene material insulation where they use like the ripped up jeans, and he says that it was one of the better sounding rooms that he's ever been in. So how did you attach this? It looks like you just put some screws in and held it in the wall, or how? Because you can see like the little dimples here. How did you make that hang there?
Yeah, it's just staples. So I would just take a stapler and put it at an angle, 45-degree angle down, and then the next staple from it would be at a 45-degree angle up. So it kind of holds it in there really, really tight, which is another reason why I did. It's 2 inches thick and it's very, very dense.
So where did, if you don't mind me asking, compared to like because you use Roxul, compared to that, price wise, what are you looking in difference in price? Is this a lot more expensive? Is it about the same price?
It's a little bit more expensive. I'd say it's probably got a 25 to 30% increase in price for the Blue Jean stuff over the Rockwool.
Okay.
Nice. You can also, which I don't know how cost effective it is, but in construction or commercial anyways, you can have screws that have like giant washers.
Yeah.
That you can also use that are way longer, right? They'll be 3 inches long for a 2-inch long, or deep material. So whenever you screw it in, it'll just kind of pull. It'll still do the dimple effect like that, but maybe not as much.
Right.
Deal. So you can. It's just price and whatever's easier for you is what you want to do. But
Genius Home Theater says the people of Fabric Maker very, very helpful. He spoke to the owner for about 25 minutes for his latest small project. So
cool.
Yeah. Let's see here. Go back here. So yeah, I like that material too. So
it looks cool. Yeah.
And in the actual now you got the cutouts. Is that spray foam back there, or is that regular like pink insulation or whatever that is? That spray foam or just regular insulation?
It's regular. Well, it's like pink insulation. And what they do is they cover the studs with this. It's a fabric. So it's like a white fabric, and they
shoot it in there.
They blow it in afterwards. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So what's the flame retardedness of this Gene material?
It's pretty high. And that was another one of the things. That's what it was. I don't have the website here. I had it in my slide.
It's similar to Rockwool. Okay. Well, yeah, because that stuff you can light, and it just it's like, no, I ain't burning. Because jeans, regular jeans, will definitely. So they must do something. They coat it with something.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
Okay. I didn't know. Yeah.
The attic insulation that I used, they put a boric acid in it also, and that also makes it flame retardant too. So I can literally hold it in my hand and shoot a torch at it, and it's that much flame retardant.
Cool. Because I didn't know if this was like this is a interior only type of insulation, or if it was like a full blown you could actually do your house with this and meet code type of deal. So But as far as like you said, like as far as breathing and stuff like that, yeah, I like that. Like if you wanted to insulate a inset fireplace,
Right.
Type of deal, you could probably use this.
And what did you use to? I'm sorry, Paul.
No,
What did this come in a roll, or what did you use to cut this stuff with?
I went through a number of different razor blades, so I would just measure it out, take out my razor blade, and cut it. And there was very little particulate in the air during install.
So it came in flat packs that you had to cut.
Yeah.
So it was like a 4x8 sheet, or was a 4x4 sheet, a 2x4 sheet? What was it in?
2x8 sheets.
2x8 sheets. Okay.
Yeah.
You always learn something, you know.
Yeah,
like
no, definitely.
And
this is a clean. Look how clean that looks, man. That looks good.
Oh, dude. See, you're a man after my own heart. Because my first theater, that's exactly how I was like. I don't want to see anything.
Exactly.
You know, it's like I don't want you to even know I have a speaker. And then whenever it turns on, you're like, what?
Yeah, that looks clean, man.
That's
amazing,
clean.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to go back here and I'm going to take a note here. Let me see how. So the bottom, it looks like you had no seam across, but the top, you put the 2 seams on the top.
Well, I think it's just the lighting. You can't see the bottom.
So there are seams in the bottom?
Yeah, so it goes all the way down. There are seams on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where it's just get creative with the lighting, and that's where some of those CAD programs help you out, because they'll tell you where the reflections are.
Right.
You know.
Oh, look at that.
That's cool.
So there's your CAD drawing on the top. So I tried to, in building this, I try to go as close to what he had there as possible. So you'll see in the riser, we had to kind of router out a place for the track for the lights to go into to be inside.
So you didn't carry the lip over like it did here.
Right.
Yeah.
So it does have, I did it after the fact. So you'll see the lip over in the detail afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to do the lip over too, and I just thought that, I don't know, I didn't think it was going to be sturdy enough. Chuck and I were on the phone talking about this, about how we were going to do this, and I just wound up doing it all together.
You don't need a big lip on that. I would just do like, well, you have to consider the thickness of the carpet if you're doing the carpet.
Right.
But other than that, dude, you only need like,
because you have to put the pad in too, right? So
of an
think
inch.
about that.
Well,
So
you don't do pad on the
on the front, on
fascia,
that edge.
yeah, on the fascia or of the edges. But either way, yeah, you only need an eighth. But like a Chuck would be able to make that. But yeah, us DIYers, yeah, it's like,
yeah, I just got to go. I just got the Govee rope light and just put it around mine.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
So I can see that's
I hear you.
The end goal is to see, and I can see.
Hey,
So it looks like you got the 5-wire here for your LEDs. What did you use? Did you use cob lighting? Did you and are you using like the WLED controller?
Yeah, so it's WLED controller, RGB, RGBW. All 3 are controlled separately, so I can control the brightness, the color of the lights. So I soldered everything at first, and that was a nightmare. And so after that, I went ahead and went a different direction and just crimped them all together, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, they make these clips that are like super easy, man.
Yeah,
like the Wagyu clips or whatever they're called.
Yeah, but after having tried to solder for a couple of days, I had given up. It was just no longer fun for me.
It is such a oh man, in the car community and stuff like that, that is a big, like, you're taught old school, and then nowadays it's like you crimp only and all this. It's like never solder. You know, there's different school. There's old school, new, versus new school and stuff like that. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, soldering, you can get cold soldering joints. So,
you really have to know how to do that, and you really have to be really good at it. And it also, because it makes everything so stiff, it can cause brittleness at the at the back end of where the solder is.
Yeah, and if you heat up that wire too much, you can do some damage to it too.
Yeah.
So
and
I
solder, but I used to work in microprocessors.
Me too.
Yeah.
So I went to technical school for computer repair. So
yeah. So
but when I went, you actually took components off the board. Now you just throw the board out and put a new
now
board
you
in.
throw the whole damn board out,
right?
And you're soldering the power wire to it. That's it.
Exactly.
You're not soldering a 100-pin flat pack, onto a board. Anyways, totally. There's nothing wrong with that, especially nowadays. The crimping and all those tools are so advanced nowadays.
So
it's like, damn.
What's the height of this riser? Because it looks much larger than this. This is a 2x12 here, and then you went with a second layer of 2x12. Is that what you did?
So there's 2x12, and then I just put in the step. So the step is just a 2x6.
So it's a 2x6 here. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we just built out. I did an inset of the 7 inches for the 7-inch step. Actually, I think it was 8 inches. And then, so we just kind of went up, and that's how we got our step.
Okay. Yeah. That's something like I did. I just added I used a 2x6 and added it onto the backside. Yeah. So it just looked with the picture, it looked higher. So,
yeah. And so that picture right there, you'll see if you look at the top step, there's the bull nose there. So basically all it is a detail.
So you do have you add. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have some private conversation after this, because you did everything and this is why I like I told you before, you sent me some videos and stuff like that, and I told you, I don't like I don't like to review the stuff before, because then I get like the nice natural reaction while we're watching this. I saw a couple pictures on Facebook when I reached out to you, but I mean, nothing to this level, but I mean, man, you did a great job here on this construction and stuff. So
yeah, it is cool. Yeah, that's why I don't even join until like the
9:28.
I was early today.
You were. Well, you had been early for a couple of them, but I think you were having issues with your phone before. But
yes, exactly.
But yeah, no, this looks great here. I like what you did there. So how did you add the bullnose afterwards? Did you cut this back and then add it on?
So I basically, once we finished the framing, all of the rock wool that was left over from the window, we went ahead and filled the riser with rock wool. So the riser is full of rock wool as well. And then we just routed it flush. That we put on the OSB on top. So it's a 5/8 OSB on top. Routed it flush, and then it's just a 3/4 inch trim, bullnose trim that we ran all the way around. So what you're looking at, the face of that is just 1/4 inch plywood for the beauty side of it, and then the bullnose goes over the top, and it just looks like it's supposed to be there like that. I think there's a little bit closer detail, or when we do the walkthrough of the theater, I'll get close enough for you to take a look.
Okay, cool.
And so there you have, if you go up a little bit, that's where the track, the LED light, and the
so you use the diffuser right there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that I need this fabric mate right here. I need a diffuser, and then I need another piece of fabric mate there, which is going to double my freaking cost, unfortunately. Right. So yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah. So. And then the good old track saw. You got to have a track saw.
You got to knife in there, man.
Those panels come in, I think they were like a 8-foot panels, and I needed to split them up. So I think it's 16 or 20 inches on the top and on the bottom. So we made sure that the tops and the bottoms were the slats are the same size. So I had to cut them down, and the only thing we could do was make a jig and slide them in there and track saw all day long.
I hear you. I hear you. Let's see here. All right, so this is the result of
Right.
This is the
So that's the back corner.
Top portion of the room, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see I had to push it out so that they would actually line up with one another.
Yeah. So Ike actually just went through some of this in his studio space there.
Yep. They look good, man.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that for
man.
behind me and changing.
Looks
I want to do it for my back wall in my theater. As a matter of fact, I am.
Yeah, I gave you that idea.
Yeah,
did that
for the back wall.
Listen to him, like yeah, it never was on the internet before that. No,
It was all a dream.
Yeah. That's cool. So was that the panel at the top all around there that acts as a diffuser? What is that? You also got that in your design?
So he actually put that in his design as well.
Man, I'm surprised you don't have really good RT60 decay time, like more than sufficient, because that's a lot of diffusion right there.
Yeah.
Well, the thing.
But then again, I guess
behind it, it's absorption too.
Yeah. So and that's the thing.
Yeah, it's a combo.
Okay. Gotcha.
And what makes it even more absorption is that I had to bump it out, so it's about 3/4 of an inch away from the wall.
From the wall. Oh, okay.
Okay.
There's
I'm
a
following.
gap. Yeah.
And the fact that you have, because if you really just dumb it down, absorption is just, or diffusion is just less absorption.
Absorption, yes.
And then you have absorption behind that. So it's like, oh, so you're one of those few people that have like not 30% of your wall covered. You have like 100% of your walls covered.
Just about.
Yeah, that's a little too much.
So we've got
and a quick
when we get to my RT60, it's about 0.2, I think, across from 500. No, what was the number? From 500 to 4K, it's about 0.2.
0.22. Wow. Yeah, that's too low.
That's low. Yeah.
That is too low. That is creepy, like sound deadening low. Yeah.
Creepy.
Wow.
So we've done
and a quick chamber.
Okay, so here we go. Look, he's added some diffusion in the back now.
That's insane. Yeah.
So the first thing that we did was we got some cheap some panels, those panels that you can buy off of Amazon.
Yep.
When I got them in, they were too thin, they weren't going to work. So I put them up there, but I added some from my car audio days. I added some Dynamat to the back of them to give them some weight.
That's why your room has no RT60.
I dynamatted my whole wall, and then I started putting drywall on it. Put another layer of Dynamat. Yeah.
The room is dead.
So then we took those down. So you'll see later on, I went ahead and took those out. I just didn't like how they didn't help the room's RT60, of course. So I went and got some. I think they're in here. We'll see them later on. Some like the wood block ones, the 1x1 squares with a different size.
Yeah.
So I went and got some of those and replaced a bunch of those areas with some more reflective panels. So there you have. That's where you'll see the absorption properties of the
Gene material.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to buy one of these, like a whole, because like when you go to a commercial cinema, so I'm in pest control, so we do a lot of cinemas and stuff like that, and there's a thick like dampening blanket made out of the same exact
Yeah.
material that they put in
Oh,
every single commercial theater, and it just hangs from the ceiling behind the screen.
man, I'm gonna have to look that up. That'd be cool. Just hang a big old blanket on.
Yeah, it looks just like this, but
And so I don't know. Everybody probably doesn't know. Like an RT 60.2, aka 200 milliseconds, is really low. Like you, like it, and everybody has a different opinion on it. But if you get to 0.6, that's pretty damn good. If it's flat all the way across, like that is getting to the point of, hey, you got a good sounding system. Now, for those people, you know, the audiophiles, they'll be like, oh, 0.6 is way too much. Fuck you. That's all I'll say to that.
So this looks
that sounded directed to someone.
But you know, if you get to like 0.3, that is considered like a mixing. That is the level to where, hey, I am like mixing pro audio. I am producing. Lower than that, you're getting kind of like, wow, okay, now you're getting to that I'm in an anechoic chamber type of thing. I'm surprised that you got.
I mean, scary movies, horror movies would be the point.
Yeah, right. You're like, oh shit.
I'll be traumatized watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Any scary movie in there, man.
So this gives a little bit better picture of like the what you.
Yes.
So you just added this right on the top. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you did here.
And then they carpeted inside of that area, has carpet inside of that area.
Okay. Yeah, so that's how you created your bullnose. You added it right on the top there.
Oh, that is cool. That is cool.
See, I was thinking about just extending the plywood out rather than going with a finished piece of wood.
Then you're compensating for the carpet, and you have like a bull nose that's like a solid surface.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I didn't want the look of carpeted rolled over a bull nose, and I'm glad I didn't do it, because going with Lowe's, they sent over a couple of kids that couldn't have been over the age of 20 to install the carpet.
Mm-hmm. So my carpet guy, he told me he was in the business for like 20 years and he struggled with my riser. You know, so it's not something that they do all the time, you know, especially in an area where there's not, well, I guess there's steps here, but everybody does tile and marble and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's not something that they really do a whole lot of carpeting of steps here. But so this fabric here, talk to me about this, because I've heard people, you know, say it was okay to do, and then I've heard people say that they cussed their mother and father and everything else, you know, doing this. So what was your experience with what fabric did you use? Did you use what type of fabric did you use and make, and how did you find the application?
So in ABS, they have one of the threads is the darker the theater, the better, or something to that effect. A dark theater is better. So we kind of went through there. I looked at some felt stuff. We looked at some velvet stuff, but I just wasn't sure that a lot of these materials was going to let the sound through, because again, I'm more of a sound guy than I am video at this point, but I'm trying to do better. But going through it all, I was able, I think it's Milgard Black. I thought I ordered, because they'll sell you about 20 different samples.
Like a swatch. Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll sell you, you know, one by, it was in some of the other pictures of the track. So they sent them over, and I found the one, you know, held it up to the light, and if I could see light through it, the more light I could see, I know the more sound I was going to get through it. Held it up to the wall. I bought about a yard of it, installed it, and it looked great. It was black. And it was over the speaker, and I played left and right. I switched off between left and right, the one that was covered and the one that wasn't, and very, very slight attenuation, but not very much. So I think I can't remember the name of it, but it's like Milgard Black something or other. But
so that was actually fabric meets fabric.
Yeah. And install, the more it stretches, the better. I know that made it super easy to do. At first, it was kind of hard to figure out how to get it in there and how to make the wrinkles go away, sort of thing. But after a while, you keep going and you get the hang of it, and it becomes easier as you kind of venture down and get some time into doing it.
Yeah, so they have, I've been on this website before, but I mean, they have, like I said, I know they have a design center.
Yeah.
Architects and designs.
This is what I should have. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the flexible
Right.
That's cool.
stuff also. I'm trying to go find the fabrics here. Let's see. Custom fabric printing.
Multi-purpose fabrics under products. Go down, straight down.
There we go.
Right there. So I think it's that black that you see right there in
This one right here.
Yeah, that's it right there.
So this is MoFi fabric. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's 66 inches wide, which is the most I've seen is like 62. So that's even better.
Right.
If you're covering like a 5-foot section. Okay.
Exactly. And that's how large the tracks are. So the tracks are 5 feet. So it was perfect. It was
because that's what I need to cover a 60-inch window.
Yep.
So I can just do it one time.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, look, there's DMD, there's Guilford of Maine, there's all kind of different fabrics that you can do, so the MoFi is $18 a yard. Okay.
Yeah. Wasn't cheap.
Yeah, no, I know, trust me. I got to start putting all this together and start ordering it. I took a couple days off before Memorial Day, so I'm going to have like a 5-day weekend. So I'm hoping to get started on all this stuff. And I purposely did it. And I told my wife this today. I said, I put in for my time off in the beginning of June. We're going to go on vacation. And then I told her I purposely took some days off while you had to work. so that I could get some stuff done here. But we'll get back to your sharing here. I mean, man, this is turning out, I mean, really nice. I love the look of this right here. The screen is literally floating there. So what type of screen is that?
So that is the woven silver ticket 120-inch screen that they have, acoustically transparent. Okay.
And before you put all these panels up, because I don't know if I saw that you. Oh yeah, okay. I see you got the speakers installed up here. So you installed all the speakers and stuff in there.
Yeah, and Superfly says if I had watched one Anthony Grimani video, I would have saved a lot of time and effort. And he's 100% correct. I watched Grimani yesterday, and so yeah, he's right about somewhere the low, anything under 4 was probably as low as it should be. But so that was the very first rendition of the theater and the RT6. They haven't done it just yet because I'm waiting to do some other things before I run another test on it. But
very good.
You are correct. And so that's just the carpet going in. That was some footage from them installing the carpet there.
Okay. I've never seen that padding before. That's cool. That's a black padding.
And it's the memory foam pad.
Yeah, I got that put in under mine too.
Oh, ooh, how's that feel?
Oh, it's soft.
It's cushion on your feet, man. I don't wear shoes in the theater, so
Yeah.
Wow.
oh, look at that! Look, he went with the tan carpet like I did.
Look at that.
It's like a Berber too, right? That's
Yeah,
a Berber carpet. Yeah, I like that. That looks nice with the black accent, and then they just rolled it right down into your bull nose right there. That looks really nice.
So we got a question for you, Rick. How far do you sit? How far back do you sit from your main listening?
The main listening position is 12 feet from the screen.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And you said it's woven, right? A woven screen?
Yeah.
And Rich wants to know why you did not go wall to wall with the screen size. Why did you not go with a bigger screen?
So, where you guys see the theater now, my thought process going in was to get the theater built, but build it in a way that upgrades could be made easily. And because it was either wait a really long time, saving up money to get it done, or get it built right, and then upgrade as you go. So the projector that I'm using now is still a 1080p. It's my old Sony 40ES. So at the throw distance that it sits, had I gone any bigger, light output would have gone down. You know, I would have probably not had a good picture with where it's at now. It's about, I'm going to say 15 and a half feet away. So when I do upgrade my projector is when I'll upgrade the screen as well.
Yeah. I mean, look at these edges on this fabric. You did a great job on that. I might have to fly you out here. So it looks like you went with the same like paper folded thing that I did, just temporarily to hide some stuff. Is that's not an actual blind, right? That's just like a paper pleated thing there.
Yeah, and right now I'll show you when we get into the theater. What we did was it was letting too much light in, and it was letting too much heat in. So what we did was I went ahead and covered it with fabric as well, and we put some reflective material in there as well to try and get that RT60 up.
Back up a little bit.
Yeah.
So you got the Emotiva processor.
Yes, sir.
The RM, what is it? RMC1?
MR1.
MR1. Okay. All right, and then are those the Base X amps by them, or who's? No, that's not Emotiva, right?
No, those are. So when I bought the in-wall Klipsch, the Klipsch amplifier that they wanted for those cost more than the speakers themselves. So I think the amp was going for like $1,000. Mm-hmm. And so I went ahead and I just got some Monoprice. Those are from Monoprice. They're just subwoofer amps with crossover built in. Wired those up, and like I said again, they didn't work out the way that I wanted to, so we had to go in a different direction. I had that subwoofer that you see there is an old. I don't know if you guys remember them, AV123.
I've not heard of that one.
No, so they were a company that went out of business some time ago, but it's a MFW 15.
15, okay.
So it's a 15 slot ported sub. Trying to, and I knew this was going to be difficult. Trying to EQ sealed subs up front and then a ported sub in the rear was a nightmare. I could never really get it to work right. So. Again, like I said, I just turned the front sealed subs off and then went with the ported subs instead.
All right. It's a little bit closer picture of the rack. All right. So what do we got here?
So there we're just using all the speaker cable is all monoprice, 12 gauge.
Okay.
We use that.
What's a bogger? What's a bogger screen? I don't even know what a bogger.
A bigger screen.
Oh, a bogger. Oh, okay. I'm like, what's a bogger screen?
So that's just me. I in the riser. So we ran the cables all the way down the wall. So they come out underneath the riser and then they're terminated in the riser, like the riser floor. There's a plate there for me to quick release speakers if I'm, trying to change or I'm tuning or doing anything like that. So we just have runs that run from the plate that's in the floor up to the amplifiers.
Okay.
So I just terminated all that. And there you see that's in the base of the riser. And there you go.
Yeah, if I can do one thing over again, it's rerun my speaker wires, man. The entire thing. But man, there's no way that's gonna happen, man. I might just do a cut and join, but I'm not rerunning those things, man.
And so with the added thickness of the track, the lights, the slats, I had to extend the door framing out to meet flush. And so that's just kind of showing, me having to extend that door frame into the room so that it would all line up properly.
Yeah, you put this piece here.
Yeah, and then I did Bondo. So I Bondoed the whole thing, sanded it all down so it's ruler flat and smooth.
Yeah, that's most people don't freaking go Bondos like that ain't moving. Like, people use that to keep their cars intact, let alone the interior of the house. Like, damn.
So now you can see that's the finished product.
Yeah, that looks nice. See, when I do mine, I want to build this door out too.
Right. Yeah.
Where you don't even see that there's a door there.
And I left the doors I'm going to paint them black. But I left them solid like that. Again, this is an after effect of having a very, very low RT60. So I was even thinking of doing some scattering on the doors if I can.
Yeah.
That's done. What I would do. In your scenario, I would do some sort of diffusion thing on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, you could even
it's already it's already acting as a diffuser, it's not absorbing anything if it's like this anyway. So
yeah, it's a solid core though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's solid.
Yeah.
So you can see the fabric a little bit better too. That looks nice. Looks really nice. And those are
the panels that I went with instead of those weird ones from Amazon.
Yeah, so did you DIY this or did you buy it? Because
you can buy them like this.
They are not cheap, man. At least the ones that I've seen.
Well, those ones aren't very expensive just because they're not very thick. So listening to again Gramani as usual. Anything you want to start at around the 3 to 4 inch range for some of these things.
Yeah.
But with only having the 2 inches in depth to work with, anything back there is going to be better than just flat wall. So I'm still trying to tackle that in any way I can.
Look, there's people that just use literally duct tape. They'll take the duct tape and put it over top of some of their absorption stuff, not like duct tape, like the silver, but like actual HVAC duct tape.
Yeah.
So they'll take that and they'll stripe it, stripe some of their absorption with that tape, and that'll help you some too. So you may want to consider.
Yeah, honestly, this is a rarity because most people, you talk to someone that sells diffusion and absorption, they'll be like, oh, you did diffusion, you need diffusion, which that's rarely.
That looks good.
That's rarely the case, but yes, that looks amazing. That's the reason that I'll never say don't use it, because it definitely looks better than absorption. The difference is night and day, right? Yeah. But if you cover 100% of your room with absorption or even diffusion, you're
there we go with the RT60.
Oh wow. Jesus Christ, man. That's,
well, you seen it. He had jean material everywhere. Nobody in the country has jeans left.
I know, man. That's
man.
no wonder I'm having to wear
a quiet place in here will be really quiet.
Goodwill no longer has any jeans in their store.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, that is it. That is crazy.
I would love to watch A Quiet Place in there, man.
Oh,
yeah,
dude. Yeah. See now that. Yeah.
So what is your noise floor like? Speaking of that, can you hear from? Did you do any type of soundproofing or anything like that prior to building the room?
Soundproofing, we didn't. So the room is over the garage, so I really wasn't too worried about sound escaping into other rooms.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't have to do very much of that, but it just, so when you, as far as like the noise floor, I think the last time I looked, I was doing some measurements, it's somewhere around high 30s, low 40s.
Okay. Yeah, because like for the first time I heard a car go by my house the other day, but it was one of those cars that they have they modified the exhaust and they go pop 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 boom, pop 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 pop.
Yeah.
You know, so I actually heard that for the first time and I was aggravated because I don't want to hear nothing in the theater. So
they're designed to aggravate you, man.
Yeah, exactly. So it did its job.
So there's more RT60 information there. So we were the Nathan H guy on ABS. He was and has been and continues to be super helpful. I really appreciate him. He's helped me out a lot.
Yeah, that is totally. That's
impressive,
crazy.
Man.
Yeah. Most people, and this is the opposite. This is where I'm like, yeah. Point. That's you need some diffusion, man.
Yeah, so we've added some. So that was
for
this
sure.
diffusion that you see in the back was added after that measurement was taken, and then what we did was we took that space,
and you don't have anything on the ceiling. Like, I'm surprised your RT60 is that low.
I think it's the slat panels that are doing it. I'm almost 100% sure
because you have the absorption and because the slat panels are diffusers.
And and there's even a little bit on the back of the it's like a 1/4 inch of absorption.
Yeah,
on the back
because
of
you basically covered. Let's see what all the walls,
and then the floors
carpet,
and the floor has carpet. Yeah,
he's got some Levi jeans in them and some 501.
Yeah, and he's probably in there wearing Levi jeans. He's like,
so 501 straps.
Final straw is like, no, bro, you cannot wear clothes in this room. No jeans allowed. You got to wear like aluminum pants.
And then he went with a black carpet on top of the tan carpet too. Was that an afterthought or?
It matches the aesthetics. Man.
No, everyone was yelling at me because they told me that my carpet was interfering with the picture quality, so I had to do something.
Just AVS bullies, right? The bullies got you, man. AVS bullies, man.
Doesn't matter, dude. It could be $20 million, and if you don't tell them how much it costs, they'd be like, "Oh, you did this wrong."
All right, so I think we're caught up to where we can get you to do a tour now. So let's go ahead and transition to something live.
Okay.
Yeah, you can switch to your phone and we'll mute this on here and we'll go full screen when you're ready.
All right.
So we'll just leave that right there for now. Actually, I'll stop sharing.
The subwoofers don't look bad, man.
Yeah.
Let me know when you guys can see.
So do a mic check. Can you still hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, that's from your phone now. So just making sure.
All right. So we're gonna, if you could turn your phone
Can
to
you rotate
landscape.
your phone landscape? You on?
He's got like a gimbal type of thing too. So
Okay,
there we
so
go.
it should flip then.
Like that?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
that
we get a
looks
wider screen that way. Yep.
fantastic.
Okay. All right. So let's come down here. And
Look at that. Got the lights on
even-
for us. Man.
Even better when you look at it live. Man.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Like the video.
Yeah, I need one of these lights in my room, man.
That is really cool, man. Like,
All right. So what's the subwoofer on the floor? If you wouldn't mind, just start from the front.
all right. So,
Yeah, so-
you
the
can
reason
definitely tell the RG60 is lower.
Yes.
Yeah, did you shut the door behind you? Because I
No,
wonder if
not
you
at all.
shut the
it's
door.
wide
I'm
open.
curious to see what it sounds like.
Okay, so we got a little more light on. So the subwoofer is the
that is
15-inch ported sub from Stark Sound. So
Okay.
that's why we were getting the Stark Sound advertisements on our.
Yeah, I got two of them. I got one more coming. So yeah.
So just a reminder, real quick, Rick, Johnny asks, what's the dimensions of the room? If you could go over that one more time.
Yeah, so the dimensions are 16 wide by 21 deep.
Nice.
16 by 21. So that's what my is that finished or was that drywall to drywall?
That was drywall to drywall.
I gotta
So-
say, man, it sounds really good. Your voice sounds amazing. I'm like,
Yeah.
I might like the 0.2.
That's the bullnose we were talking
Yeah, that
about.
looks
Yeah.
good,
So that's
That
looks
looks
like-
good.
and then did you round that with a router yourself?
No, I purchased it like that. It just comes from Home Depot or Lowe's. It just comes with the bull nose and
Yeah, we're
the
gonna have to talk.
I know, right?
perfect
'Cause
rise.
I'm rethinking my riser right now, man.
Yeah,
All right, so you got up front, you got the
Yeah.
you got the Stark Sound subwoofer. We
right.
got the silver ticket screen, 16 by 9. What's the size again?
120.
Size of it is 120 inch.
120 inch. And then behind that, we have the clips in walls, correct?
So let me see if I can get this done for you really quick. So, me being the audio guy that I am,
Oh,
Look at this. We're going to get a full takedown.
careful.
Wow. That is cool.
Yikes.
Man, you weren't wearing your white.
Oh, he's
gloves,
got the
bro.
focals.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that. He's
that is a one man.
we decided to go with the focals because, again, like I said, I was putting things in place so that I could easily upgrade and
Mm-hmm.
make adjustments to the sound. So, just me being a sound guy, doing car audio for such a long time, we went with the 1000 series focals all the way around.
Yes. All the way around. Okay. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, so I
okay.
have
You know what?
the-
Hit the like button, guys. I think
definitely.
this deserves a like. Hit the like button.
this is like a reveal. This is like a reveal right here. Like super secret
Yeah.
reveal. Like
So when you had your screen up there, do the left and right, were they behind the screen or did they flank the screen on the outside?
So the left and right flank the screen. So they're
Okay.
somewhere in this section, which I have about I have about 6 inches on each side to widen
Okay.
the screen, 6 inches on each side before I hit that speaker on the side.
Very good. Very
So
good.
it is the
Okay.
1000 LCR for the fronts, and then the smaller 1000 in-wall 6s for the sides.
Okay,
so
so
we
they
have-
don't have the dual woofer in those. They just
No,
have,
it's not on the
okay.
sides.
All
So
right.
we have our wides are here, right around this section here. Let me back up so you get a better idea.
So the wides run to about here. Our side surround is here, and then of course our rears are back there.
Okay. And everything focal, the 1,006 inches. What about in the ceiling there? What did you go with for Atmos?
So the Atmos are still the Klipsch, and that's
Okay.
why the ceiling is still white. So I had a lot of folks telling me to paint the ceiling, but what I'm actually going to do is fabric the ceiling as well.
Nice. That's going
And
to be tough.
the reason I'm going to do that is, again, for aesthetics purposes. So if you look up, you can see where the speakers are. Even if the ceiling is painted black, you'll be able to see the difference where that circle is, where that speaker is.
Right.
But if it's fabric all the way across over your head, you will not be able to see where the speakers are. So you won't be able to locate. So your eye will kind of move you to locate sounds if you know there's a speaker right there. So with the fabric and you not being able to see that there's speakers up there, you're just enveloped into where the sounds are coming from.
And you will have to be lucky to find a black that will match the fabric black.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you find one, it's going to require multiple coats. And
Look, and if you do the fabric, you're going to build yourself, I don't know if you ever if you're going to build it out a little bit, and then that'll give you room to do a star ceiling too eventually if you want to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man, did you hate this guy or what? Oh yeah. It's been like excruciating.
Well,
time,
star ceiling for if you
don't
DIY it.
Don't do a star ceiling, man. Just buy one of those kids starlights. Just point it up. I'm still traumatized from building a star ceiling. Don't even do it.
I'm like, man, Rick, what'd you do to piss
So
him off?
what are we doing? What do we have? Sorry, not what are we doing? What do you have for theater seating there?
So these are the Valencia.
Those are the ones
Barcelonas
I thought were the most comfortable. I think it's on one of Michael's videos. I was like, oh, I love these. These are so comfortable.
I can't remember the name.
I think they're the Barcelonas, right? With the low back.
Yeah, no, the Barcelonas have the cup holder in the middle.
Okay.
And these ones don't. So they're a different name. I can't remember. Alexandria. They might be called the Alexandrias.
Yeah, but I think those are the same build.
Yeah.
Comfort.
Yeah. It's just
I like those little side tables too. I'm looking for something like that for my couch too. So, man, I'm just going to steal all your ideas after we're done here. So,
well,
yeah, this is nice. I love this. I love this setup. And
it was just a situation where the girlfriend and I like to be together when we're watching a movie, and when you have the cup holders in the middle, it kind of can, make it not a space that you can, enjoy each other's company in. So that's why we went with these.
Yeah, my wife got the first foot rub in the theater today because I watched the movie on the couch with her. So she got the first.
I'm all about the couch and I love theater seating and stuff like that. But yeah, at my house, I
don't know if you saw me stretching my neck, but I was kind of sitting up in the couch, right? So I didn't lean back and get too comfortable because I knew if I did, I was going to fall asleep.
Yeah, that's why I don't want a couch, man.
So I'm like, my neck was kind of hurting because of that.
I'm like, if I sit on those, I will never finish a movie, man, because I will lay down and go to sleep.
The vibe of this room.
I think I lost volume for you guys.
Oh, the vibe.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
There we go.
He'll come back.
Okay.
The vibe of this room when you first walked in was like, I wanted to sit down and listen to some old vinyl records, or it could almost be like hey, this is our business room. But I was like, damn, this is a high end, friggin', it's like, hey, let me sit down and listen to some vinyl and
all right. So we still got the Emotiva, and then what do we got? Some Buckeyes now?
Yeah. So we upgraded the front three, have the Purify Buckeye 3-channel running the front stage. And then the rest of the base layer is the 6-channel Hypex 502s.
Okay.
And then
Very
we have
nice.
the Audio Quest 303 providing conditioning and power.
Nice.
And then I'm using the Panasonic DP, the UB820.
Nice.
So you got some compliments here from E4 Superflyer. I'm sorry, but this is one of the best, cleanest installs I've ever seen, and you're not even a installer. Impressive.
No, this is me and the girlfriend doing this every weekend for about 6 months.
Man,
very nice.
That is impressive, man.
Yeah.
Sun up to sundown every weekend for about 6 months.
It was worth it, man.
Well, yeah, it's definitely worth it. You have a beautiful theater there.
Thank you so much.
This is one like I'm all about the experience, not the gear, right? I love the gear because I'm an engineer and a techie, but when I'm watching a movie, right, I love just the vibe. Like I said,
you could just sit in here and not even watch a movie. I will sit in here and just drink a beer and not even watch a movie.
Right, and that's why I like the light carpet too, because it gives more of an inviting. You're not in a total blacked out bat cave, right? Even though yes, you're gonna add some black to the ceiling and stuff like that, but the light carpet gives it more of an inviting. You're not sitting into a dark theater. My wife today, she was just sitting in the theater. I was looking around the house for her. I'm like, where are you at? Oh, I'm just sitting in the theater, so but yeah, no, I mean, just fantastic. So we didn't really, I know you covered the projector earlier. You said it's can you tell us again what the projector is?
Yeah, the projector is the Sony 40 ES. It's just a 1080p unit. And again, right here where we're standing, we're probably about 15 feet from the front. So the throw distance isn't all that great. And then again, it is 1080p. So, I didn't want to go too big on the screen because I figured it was going to, I was waiting right now I was waiting for the new laser, of course, JVCs to come out, which they have. So that's kind of what I've been waiting on. But then you guys started talking about Lumagens, and I'm trying to figure out, hey, do I go that route? Do I go 16:9? Do I go scope? So there's a lot in the video realm that I have to kind of do my research on and figure out before.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you use this room solely for movies, do you watch sports or anything like that? TV shows?
Strictly movies.
So if I were you, I would go 240.
Yeah, scope would be better.
Scope screen, because if you're not watching sports and TV shows and stuff like that, then you're not going to have to do a whole lot of adjustment when it comes to watching the movie itself. So because most movies are in 240, 190, in the widescreen format. So
right.
So yeah, that's what I would do if I were you, and I would go wide enough to cover those right and left speakers.
Hey, Steven says he has an NC9 for sale, 11K under 100 hours. NC9, wow. Okay,
yeah, there you go.
Wow,
that's a damn good deal, actually.
Yeah,
right. And so when you're doing that, and you guys had a good conversation with one of your other guys on your show, where you were talking about, I believe, getting something like an NZ5 or the Sony 5000 series and doing like a Lumagen or a Mad VR, and is that combo better than buying like the 9 or getting something in the $20,000 range?
So here's the answer to your question. Is it bright enough for you?
Yeah, and the screen size.
If your current system is bright enough for you,
we're fully light controlled. There's not a
exactly. And I wasn't going to answer that question for you. I asked that question. So in that scenario, I would and I'm the opposite. this is probably the only time I would say, yeah, in this case, I would almost for you go Lumagen, because if you really look at all this stuff, unless you're getting like $100,000 Barco or something, like, you're not getting HDR. You're not getting that shit. So you don't need the 4K. And you can do it, but everybody will argue with me. I know. I know they would, but or they will, but it's all about the experience and what you think is, good.
Yeah, video process. If you can get a good NZ7 or and I think at least the NZ7 and the Lumagen, to me,
the NZ5 is a fantastic projector.
With
the NZ5 is almost performing to my NZ8 that I have.
If you have a fully light controlled room, I wouldn't go any higher than that.
Yeah, a video processor would be great.
NZ5 and a video processor,
man,
you'd be perfect.
You would be killing it.
Even the new Epson, and the video processor.
The LS12000 or the new one.
So have you had anybody measure your projector to see how many Lamberts and foot Lamberts and stuff you're getting?
No, not in this room the way it sits now. No, I was waiting for the upgrade, because once I get the upgrade, I'm gonna have everything tuned up probably, because as far as the receiver is concerned, because again, most of the stuff that's in here outside of the Buckeyes are an upgrade.
I gotta announce that Chuck really likes your theater and your stuff, and he's one of our veteran. He's also a personal friend. He usually falls asleep before now, and he's still to it, and he is a master craftsman. So
hey, Chuck,
he's
thank
watching
you so much.
your stuff and getting ideas, that means you did a really good job.
Thank you so much, Chuck. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, no joke. That guy.
Hey, Chuck, go watch the video 20 times tomorrow so we can get some views.
Yeah. So he's literally if you can think it, he can build it, and he's getting ideas. So he's loving it. So.
Well, I'm probably just for future. My upgrades for the system are, of course, the Kaleidoscape. Strato C, I believe, is the right one for Kaleidoscape.
Strato V.
You got Dawn dancing in the background.
I'm clapping over here.
Yeah,
I know,
absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
I know. I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's cool.
Just when I thought it was Survivor show without the word.
Yeah, I didn't even mention the word.
People don't really get it until you A/B a movie. So I A/B'd Ready Player One, and not the race scene. I A/B'd the fight scene at the end, and it's to me, and I can it's night and day, guys. From the actual disc to streaming it on the Apple 4K, I can definitely hear a difference.
Yeah. So but like when we talked about the projector, it's like, look, let's just say you have $12,000 budget, man. Get a really good projector and just get a Lumagen. I wouldn't dump the whole thing on a projector. Then somebody is still gonna tell you, well, you got the NZ900, now go get a Lumagen. Like, come on, man.
And so
I should just got the NZ7 and got a damn Lumagen too.
Right.
Yeah. From what I understand, the NZ5 is a very, very good projector, and it's like I said, I have a generation behind. I have the NZ8. Right, so the new ones are the 900s and the 800, and
from all the
if you look at the contrast ratio of the 5, it's almost matching what my NZ8 is. So they're definitely trickling down the technology, to the lower models. But yeah, no, if you want to, Rick, if you want to jump back on your computer, we can go ahead and try to field any questions that the chat may have. But I mean, just beautiful theater. I love what you did with it.
So what lighting are you using?
So they're Lutron. I'm using
Lutron, man.
Lutron to control the lights on the roof and the 3 showcase lights for the screen are Lutron, and then I have the controller here.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So the other thing, Don, that you're gonna
a little controller like that.
You're gonna run into, Don, when doing the fabric is around light switches. This not fun.
Yeah, I don't think I got a straight answer from you. What was this an easy task, or was it a few choice words while doing the fabric?
A little bit of both. At first, the words were flowing rapidly, but as you get the hang of it,
blip 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 blip.
Yeah. There was some
like,
some relationship unrest during that time, but but it all worked out.
Oh man. Yeah, if you're having your wife help, get her a ticket to Chippendales.
I told you not to do it that way, yet you did it. I told you not to put it in.
So just to add a little bit before I jump back onto the computer, after the theater was built, I had to redesign the Jack and Jill bathroom that is right next to the theater, and so I pretty much took the theater and I brought it into the bathroom.
Oh, nice,
dude! That is cool. Oh man, dude!
Nice.
Oh,
Very nice.
now you're just showing off.
What?
Like, all right, cut his feed, man.
Dude,
cut
I have
feed. Like,
zero,
get out of here, bro.
I have zero creativity, man.
Yeah,
Zero.
that is cool, dude.
I can't even think this stuff myself, man.
Yeah. That's nice, man.
Yeah,
Even the color of the doors are the same.
That is nice.
Just the fact of the matter that you got a bathroom right there is awesome too. So
yeah, for sure, man.
All right, let me get back on the thing here.
All right, we'll see you back.
Yeah, let's go back to regular view.
Yeah, dude, that
is simple. It's so simple and so clean.
Man, that almost makes me want to do dedicated room,
dude.
You know, it's like, God damn.
you got, and the thing about it is, you got the space too with that basement downstairs.
Yeah, I know.
Nah, he got too much to clean up there, man. You might get locked up once he starts cleaning up that basement.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I do have I have my red room down there. You know, but, you know, it's oh shit!
If I dig up something he's not supposed to dig up,
no, don't move that box.
Hey, don't look in that cooler over there. It's fine.
Yeah, right. Like,
like
no.
And then we'll see breaking news. He was a member of the Hope Theater.
Don and I can get 1 billion subscribers overnight. They knew.
That's too funny.
Yeah, but it is. Look, this is really. I actually text my wife to make sure she was watching. It's like, you need to check this out, man, because this is so simple, so clean.
Thank you all very much.
Yes.
No, you did.
And Don, I don't think you need to cover your entire wall with fabric, man, because he just.
No, I didn't have the plan to. I never had the plan to, but I didn't have the plan to put the slatted wood up top either, like he did.
Yeah. I'm never the type of person that, this is the best one I've ever seen. I love this theme. I got a total vibe the minute you actually walked in. It's not my personal vibe, but I was like, dude, this is clean. This is like, just, you know, like, damn. It's like, I feel like I gotta put a suit on before I go into the theater. You know? I'm like, all right, this may not be my vibe.
So
you are describing exactly what I was after. It's the room where, when I do get my vinyl, because I do have vinyl, I just haven't, it's that, that rabbit hole. I have to go down the video rabbit hole.
Literally first vibe that I got, and that's not the vibe I want. I'm not saying, to me, everybody's like, "Oh, the best theater I've ever seen." It's like,
Right.
this is a fucking
You need to set up that violently, man, so we
yeah.
can groove and listen to some Nate King Cole.
You guys can party share together and
Absolutely.
listen.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly, dude. I totally got that vibe. The minute you walk, it's and if you're walking in, it's probably totally different because the pictures and then you doing the video, I got a different vibe. Whenever you were doing just the video share, I was like, oh, dude, this is like, I'm ready to just. I very rarely smoke cigars, but I'm like, man, I'm like, I could sit down, light a cigar, and fucking do some vinyl in this motherfucker.
Then I've done my job.
Yeah, and it worked. Like that's the vibe I got initially, but it's so pristine. I was like, or it could be the office CEO meeting conference room.
Yeah, it's like
all right.
Yeah.
You got to come in here to make the deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can make a deal in there.
Yeah, exactly. So to answer Rick's question, we did go over it earlier.
Yeah, but you didn't do multiples today.
No,
yeah, that's something stronger, man.
You don't mix. You don't. Come on, bro. You gotta appreciate, dude. If you drink, you do not mix this with the beer.
Yeah,
man.
don't do that, man.
Yeah, no, bro. That's like having like 12.
He got to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, and plus he's on like 2 hours of sleep. So
yeah, that is true. That's the only thing probably still keeping me awake. I did take a nap, but I was like, God dang it.
So before we end the stream, does anyone have any questions for Rick? I'll just start off. I know if you could do something different in your theater than what you did, how you built it, what would be something that you would do differently than what your results?
You need to just ask the main question if you had to give 5 key advices of building a theater, what are your top 5 things that you would consider?
So again, and not to sound like a broken record, get someone to help you design. Spend some money up front. It's going to save you money in the end. The amount of time it's going to save you, the amount of product that it's going to save you from having to buy. We had measurements, so I knew exactly how much product to buy, just based off of how he drew the room. I'm
gonna pause on that, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like when you pay for a professional to do something, whether it's painting or whatnot, they literally design, like you can paint a wall and you know exactly how much paint based on square footage and how many coats. But you start adding windows or little things in there, that changes. And in the long run, they saves you purchasing over. Because if you just do a blank wall with no windows, that's X amount of paint.
Right.
But you add 3 windows.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, you don't need to buy that much because these windows, you're not going to. And that's where that finesse or the detail is what you're paying for. So
100%. Also in the aesthetics, if he had drawn the room the way that I asked him to and I didn't like it, I could have changed it. But if I had built the room first and not been happy with it in the end, that would have been a much bigger problem, right? Next, I would probably say the one thing that I think I would have done is the R60. I think that's one of the things I'm hung up on right now. One of the guys said something really important to me. He said, "Stop chasing a number and chase a sound." Mm-hmm. So there's still some things I think I need to do, but do your research. I could have done a little bit more research in that regard, but me not really understanding the acoustic aspects of the slats, I think, is what threw me off, because they didn't have a lot of information.
But the thing about that is that you have a fabric wall there, right? So you could easily just start taking some instead of adding, you can easily undo some of your fabric and start taking down some absorption.
Right.
And that alone will cost you $0. It'll cost you some more cuss words, I'm sure, putting the fabric back up, but that'll cost you $0. And I guarantee you'll probably more than likely be able to achieve what you're looking for.
Right.
Yeah, but then also ultimately, how does the room sound to you?
Yeah,
right?
And that's the thing.
Even with a math degree, math is good on
Ignore
paper,
this is ideal,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
0.2 to some people sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
How does
It's
it
like,
sound?
this is how I want my theater to sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
So it sounds really, really good. And again, I'm a 2-channel guy, so when I listen to music, I listen to it in 2-channel. So the room does sound really good. I'm one of those guys that listens to music with his eyes closed, right? So, but again, it's just like what you said. Do what makes you happy. And so a lot of people chase what they see on the forums or what they see other guys do. And you're really going to lose your happiness in trying to chase what somebody else's theater looks like or what you've seen someone else do. So, you know, this hobby of ours isn't the most polite at times, or you know, it can be toxic at times.
They call it psychoacoustics
because it's
psychological, and there's also psychos.
And 90% of the people on the forums that make these recommendations don't even have these things that they recommend.
Well, they've
in
never
their
even
own
done
scripts.
tests. They're just regurgitating. Most people are just regurgitating what they. Oh, I believe this person because I trust them, and that person may be completely wrong and selling something.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, so, but 0.2, that's low.
It is low, but as long as you don't feel
bad, to me.
So let me ask you this: at 0.2, what is your normal listening level? Do you push the Emotiva to reference? Are you listening at reference?
I can't. It's too loud.
I was about to say, I hope not.
He's probably listening at like -30.
I was about to say, I hope not. I hope you're not pushing it.
With that amount of absorption, you know, you're able to. A lot of people are able to withstand, you know, the higher volume rates because you're not getting, you know, the distortion from bouncing off the walls and you know, the multiple reflections back and forth like that. So so you can. I've heard people say that they can listen at a higher volume.
To that, if you have a higher frequency, because the higher frequencies generally is what people can't stand, and if you have plenty of absorption, you can listen higher because the higher frequency are absorbed. But also, if you have a really good controlled room, you don't even need it to be that loud to hear everything totally clear, because you're not hearing even outside wind noise.
That's what I was going to say. That's where the soundproofing comes in.
That balance, right?
You're not only containing sound from leaving, but you're containing sound from getting in,
and all that stuff. And then the only other thing that you gotta balance is, okay, well, how much tactile? Because, you know, if you're into sound,
there is a ton. Let me tell you.
If you gotta. If that's the case, man, I wouldn't try to raise your friggin' RT60.
I would enjoy it.
It needs to be higher. Like, if it sounds good to you, dude, I would not change it, because that is rare to get 0.2.
And I didn't make it up. You saw the pictures.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm telling you, it's like, okay,
without the picture there, everybody would have said, you're not getting 0.2.
Right.
You know,
and it was flat. It was like flat. And that's the thing where people don't understand. Like, you can have 0.6 as long as it's flat. The problem is it's harder to get like that high of an RT without having other frequencies be way up. And that is where it gets, you need to add more, because
and most of the time that up is going to be in your lower mid bass and in your bass region, where it starts to climb on the end when you're at that 60 or 0.6, sorry, when you're at that 0.6.
Yeah, exactly. So, like you had this flat line, and then it was just like a whoop. Like most people, like you might have a little wiggle, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, you know, and that's, if you can make it just, and again, it doesn't have to be like any specific number. It is, if it's flat and here's yours, and someone else can be like way up here.
Right.
Both systems are going to sound
great.
amazing.
Yeah, I get you. 100%.
Yeah. So we have a question here, but I just want to ask you something real quick. So what room correction are you using? Did you do the room correction? Did you manually do it, or did you use Dirac with the Emotiva?
No, so I let Emotiva do its thing first, and then I go in with REW, and I do it from there. I kind of do some manual adjustments with REW and my UMIC 1 after the fact to kind of, balance things out to be where I like them. So I have a couple of different settings. I have the setting for just 2-channel music, and then I have another one for like all speakers playing at once. So if we're hanging out upstairs and I just want sound, I have an EQ setting for that too. So I use REW and my UMIC 1 to get everything set the way I like it.
Very good. Very good. So the Emotiva, it uses the Dirac, correct?
The MR1 doesn't use Dirac yet. No.
It doesn't use Dirac?
No. Which is why that will be upgraded. I just don't know if I'm going, and again, here we go with the same issue that we're going to have with the projector and getting a Lumagen. Do I save up and go Trinov right away, or is the Anthem enough? Will the Anthem get me 90% of the way there, or is Trinov going to be that much higher resolution to where it's going to impact how I view and experience my gear?
This is where I would, regardless, and I know Don and Ike won't care, but you need to join like the Daily Hi-Fi Patreon and start talking to there's a guy that we have in there that, he can buy whatever he wants, but he's also, a very frugal person too. And he bought a Trinov, and he has experience with that stuff.
Okay.
And he'll give you the straight up answer. And whether that tells you to do it or not will be up to you. But yeah, he's kind of like, he has that same mentality I have. It's like, I don't want to pay for something just because I have a name.
Right. Are you referring to Calvin?
But yeah, like literally, I would do that. And next week, Hi-Fi, like, just ask him, man, and that'd be a great conversation in the after show on that channel. Sorry, that's not.
No, it's fine.
That's anti-promoting, but I'm just like, dude, it's a hobby for us. And everybody.
We mentioned everybody's channel.
Yeah, that's not promoting.
I'm telling you, it'd be worth it, because me and him had arguments, even. Not like.
As a matter of fact, Chana was supposed to be on today.
It's totally legit, and that's the thing. You got to talk to people that have actually, like, hey, I went from this to this. Mm-hmm. And here's my experience.
Right.
And in your situation, him explaining it to me, I will have one perspective. Him explaining it to you, you may be like, okay, yeah, I need to do that. Or, oh yeah, no, I'm okay with that. And yeah, dude, totally. And he's a cool as hell dude, man.
Yeah.
So let's go to the question about your front wides.
What? Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Are you enjoying them? Do you get contents based on what you're watching? I also have front wides and I like them. So
yeah, it's funny that you ask, and we just had that conversation about other channels, but I was able to replace the 4 because I had bought all the speakers were the clips all the way around, the 9 bass, and they were all the exact same. And then as I started to upgrade, I upgraded the front 3 first and still had the clips in the surrounds and the wides. For my birthday, my girlfriend bought me 4 because that's all that the dealer had was the 4 1000 series focals. So I only replaced those 4. The last 2 that I got actually came from Techthusiasm. I think that's his name.
Oh, Jeremy
actually sold when he pulled his
it sounds like I need to upgrade my girlfriend. Like what?
Jeremy actually sold me his focals when he pulled them out of his rear surrounds. Those are Jeremy's rear surrounds in my theater right now.
Oh, okay. Small wall. It's a small wall.
For the wides, those are Jeremy's wides that I put in there. And again, watching Moana, I know even though the speakers are behind the fabric, I know where they're at because I installed them. However, that's not where sound comes from. It's the wides just give you this like, and it sounds cliche, you're enveloped in sound. As this lady is talking in Moana, she's literally, it passes all the way around you. And I know where the speakers are at, but that's not where the voices were coming from. It's definitely an experience. And as one of the things that someone, you had asked what I would or wouldn't do, I wired for 9.x.6. So I was going to make sure that I had enough speakers in the walls, and I'm glad I did that because I was able to get the wides, and it's stepped my system up a considerable amount just in sound.
So you like that? Yeah, it creates a whole bubble for you, and you've noticed that.
Yeah,
okay,
if you have the room size, it's always best to wire for the maximum amount of speakers you can actually get in the room, even if you don't plan to. To use that same amount, but just wire for it.
Right, and they were in the drawings when the renderings were done, measurements were taken. He wouldn't have put him in there, and we had this conversation. He wouldn't have put him in there if he couldn't get it to work.
So this actually uses. I just wanted to research this. It actually uses the EmoQ, the 2nd generation automatic room correction.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to confirm that to anybody that may be interested in that particular processor or AVR.
E4 Superfly asked, "What was your AVS handle?" Or forum name.
I put it in the chat. I think
you put it in the chat.
Yeah,
too.
Problem Houston.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what that was. I didn't even know. See, I was like, "What the hell? What's Houston? You have a wait? What are you saying? We have a problem?"
Because I've never heard that before in my life. No one has ever said to me, "Houston, we have a problem" before in my life.
Yeah, never. Never heard that.
Never.
That's why I was like, I thought he was saying like, what problem do we have?
Well, listen, it's been fantastic hanging out with you, Rick. You have the invite, so you're more than welcome to join us every week or whenever you want. Just pop in, pop out. Sounds like you have a wealth of knowledge and experience of, throughout the audio.
Yeah, if you got Chuck still up, you've been pressed.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you for staying on with us. I appreciate that.
Once again, please do all of that YouTube stuff, like, share, subscribe. I'm going to go back and check my see if I'm still at 800. See if you guys didn't unsubscribe. Unsubscribe.
Everyone fell asleep on the unsubscribe button. Like, what? Unsubscribe.
And then
I didn't lose you any subscribers.
And then also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out to hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. If you have any questions, if you have any comments about the show, they're more than welcome. Any critiques, anything we can be doing better. Obviously, shoot us some ideas if you would like to see something different on the show too. But mainly, if you'd like to be a guest, please hit us up at hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. So, Rick, hang on for a little bit here, but we're going to go ahead and end the show now. Once again, thank you. You have a fantastic theater.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
You can definitely tell that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into that. So really appreciate you joining us this evening.
Yep, and shout out to the girlfriend too, because she helped really well.
I know. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm gonna have to upgrade. Like, wait, you got your girl.
Don't get us in trouble, Paul.
You got like
don't get us in trouble. She knows Dawn and I
be buying their man speakers and audio equipment.
End the show, Dawn. Before we get in trouble.
I just want to show everybody that Chuck's still up. So we're gonna end it.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's impressive. And
Chuck, you have anything to ask him before we go?
No. I was
do that in the green room.
All right.
Let's close it out. Hey,
thank you guys.
Fun, man.
See you guys on the next show. Chana is on the next show. Rick, thank you for switching weeks with Chana. Really appreciate it.
I'm just going to hang out and after the show.
All right.